Alright, we have our views here set up in our pictorial, isometric, and orthographic projection drawing. Now again, this is going to be a drawing that's going to be more oriented towards showing the client the concept of what you're creating. So let's now though finish completing up this title block, because that's real important that we get the correct information in there. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this, and then when that comes up, I'll go ahead and close this up, and then at any given time you can come up here and you can right mouse click on edit sheet. So when you hit the edit sheet, most of your drawing should go away, as you see here, and this comes up. Now what you can do is you already got this thing set up as your bookend assembly, but the problem is it's too big. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and double click on this piece of text, and when it comes up we've got some variables upon which we can work with. Like right now it's set to Century Gothic, which is fine. I personally like working with that. I don't really need to change it, but I do need to change the size because it's way too big. So let's drop that down to about 12, and we'll click maybe down to, let's go 10, see what we got. Click down here and see what we got. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We can actually maybe move our text down a little bit. I guess we'll have to just drag that. Yeah, probably dragging's better. Okay, so that looks good. The scale is 1 to 5. Now let's give this a drawing, a name up here at the top, so we can designate how this is created. So I'm going to double click on that piece of text there. It opens up the text box, and all I'm going to say is my company name, which is Platt Manufacturing, MFG. Now you can call it whatever you want. You can call it Platt Designs or Your Name Designs or Manufacturing, whatever. Just for a placeholder here, we're going to go ahead and put Platt Manufacturing. Now if you notice as you drag your mouse around, see how that text blocks, the A comes up by the mouse? When you're there, it says you're in a text block. So I'll double click on the center of that text block, and now I can come in and I can add some text. And on this text here, I'm just going to say a pictorial view of bookend assembly. Wow, that's pretty big, so we're probably going to have to make that a little bit smaller. No problem. So we'll select all this text here, and we'll come back and we'll drop it down to about 14 and see what we got. That looks pretty good. I may want to hit the delete key here and do this, and I'll come over here to that out here to the right, and I'll just hit an enter key there. Whoops, let's go back up here and get the B, because we're going to need that for the bookend. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we've got the bookend assembly. So now I can roll up, roll down. So here's another area right here where we need to change. Now notice how it doesn't, you can come out here to the side right here and double click on this. This gives me my actual weight. Now the weight is important because you got shipping considerations to show. So I'm just going to go out here right now and stop at this, and I'm going to go back to my actual assembly here, and I'll just come up here to window and go back to the assembly. And let's do some mass property calculation on this to get the actual overall weight. Now I've got the mass properties here, the scales, or I can come over here to evaluate and click on mass properties that way as well. Now according to this, it says it's a little over 7.5 pounds. Well, I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this right here. Actually, I'm just going to get the text, the actual number here, and I'm going to go ahead and X out of that, go back over here to window, and go back to my sheet. Now in my sheet, double click on the weight again, so it's going to edit that. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do a Control V and paste that in, except on this I'm going to say LBS. Okay, so that tells me what the actual weight is. So I'll get out of that and let's see how that looks. Well, it looks okay. The problem with it is it overlaps into the sheet block, so I'll just come up here and select the 7.2 LBS, 7.672 LBS. I'll drop that size down to, let's try it at 10. Oops, that's really big. Let's go down here to 8. See where we are now. Still a little bit large. So what I'll do is I'll just come up here to the front and I'll scale down that piece of text itself where it says weight. I'll drop that down to maybe 8 and see what we get here. Let's see if it centers it up. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, excellent. So now I'll come over here to drawn, and I'm going to click in this one field here. You always want to let someone know that you drew it. I mean, so that way someone can understand you're the designer or you're the engineer, that you created this product. So here I'm just going to say R period space PLATT. I'm going to give it a date that I actually drew it, which happens to be on Labor Day. You're not supposed to work on Labor Day, but I guess I did today. So I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to say 9/4, and I'll put a /17 and designate the year that I worked on it. Since I'm probably the one that's going to be making it, and I'm going to be approving it, so I'm going to say I checked it. So I'll come up here and say r.platt. Come over here, same thing on the date. Double click. Say 9/4/17. Okay. Come down here. I'm the person that's going to actually be doing the whole process. So I'm going to put down all this information. So on this, it's going to be r.platt again. Okay. And come over here and double click on that. I'm just going to do a select Control All, copy, drop that down, come down to here to this block, and I'll go ahead and do a Control V. While I've still got that piece of text, just going to go through the whole process here. It's important that you always fill in your title blocks. It's important that you do this because there's a lot of information about the manufacturing process that you're going through to build this. So I'm going to put in r.platt here. Okay. And I guess for QA, that's going to be me as well. Probably better put my last name on there correctly. Oops. Let's take that out. Okay, we'll put r.platt. Come over here to this guy. Put that piece of text, piece of date back in there. Let's fix this guy here. Go down to the very end. Put a T in. That should take care of that. Okay, so I've got all the dates. I got everything in here that I've done. Now on the finish, I'll probably come over here on the finish and search around. There it is. I'll say high gloss, no stain, paint, metal, black, enamel, high gloss, period. Now, evidently, this is way too big, so we're going to have to come back over and shrink some of this down. I may not have enough room for it, but let's just go ahead and select it anyway, and we'll drop that down to. Actually, we can put this in the comments. So we'll double click on this, do a Control A, select all that, and I'm going to say for finish, I'm just going to come in here and select all of that. Say high gloss. Okay. Come back over here in the comments. Double click on this. And what I'll do is I'll go to the very end, hit an enter, go Control V. Nope, still got that one thing in there. Okay, didn't clear out my clipboard. I'll say high gloss, spray finish, no stain, comma, all natural wood, finish, period. Come back over here to where it says all, enter for the that, and let's say domestic parts supplied. This way, someone may say, well, did you get the parts out of China? No, I got it all domestically, so that's why I'm putting that note in there. Okay, let's keep going. Now, material, I'm going to click on the material, double click on that, and on this one, I'm going to say, on the material, I'm going to click on this, come over to the side, I'm going to say red oak, and mild, I'll just go ahead and say hot rolled steel, period. That's good. So use my control key and push down on my middle mouse button. Scroll over here. Now here's where I like to put a lot of information right here, is to make sure that it says insert company name here. Absolutely, we're going to put our name in here. We want to make sure that people understand this is your design and that this gives you some legal value and legal ownership of this. I'm going to say Platt MFG, and any reproduction part as whole without written permission of Platt Manufacturing. We'll come back in there and we'll put that in there. Is prohibited. Okay, let's come over here to the outside edge of that, hit the delete key, it should bring that up. Now once I've got that done, I'll go ahead and click off to the side here, and I'll do a control F. Whoops, didn't want to find anything here, should say just F, and I'll bring it back up. And to get out of that sheet, I'm going to go ahead here and I'm just going to say edit sheet again. And when I do that, what it's going to do is it's going to exit that. It's going to show my filled in title block. Let's come back to this in a moment.